Garden pests are the absolute worst.
Welcome back to the channel, you guys. On my last video, we talked about the struggles I have as a gardener. Today, we're going to continue to share more about that. Things are lush and beautiful because we have been blessed with a lot of rain. And I say a lot, meaning like regular rain. And we are grateful for that, especially coming off of a summer of drought last year. But y'all, moisture and humidity brings its own set of problems. Look at my butternut squash. I want to cry. Oh, this breaks my heart. I had put foil around the base of my plants. There's 3 plants coming from here, and hoped to be able to stay ahead of the vine borer. But apparently, because one day this was lush and beautiful, like you saw in the last video, and the next day it was limp. So I'm pretty sure that the vine borer is the culprit here. This is extremely disappointing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all of this off. I mean, look at those blooms. We were going to have beautiful butternut squash that store incredibly well, by the way. And so I'm going to focus on getting all of this out. There are lots of bugs because an unhealthy plant attracts even more pests. So we're going to get all this cleared out. There are loads of squash bug eggs on the leaves. We're going to get this disposed of and think about what we're going to put here next.
Gotta love how in the midst of my whining, I turned my head and noticed the beauty around me, including this lovely finch who is feasting on my sunflowers. My son came to help me clean this mess up and speed things along, and I'm very grateful for his assistance. He's always my right-hand man.
Did it just break right off?
It just come right off.
Yeah, the vine borer got below the foil. Yep. So now we have confirmation that the vine borer is for sure what did it, because he said it just broke right off at the dirt. I have always had lots of struggle with squash bugs here. My parents' garden literally up there, up the drive. We're like a quarter mile off the road. And they don't have near the squash bug pressure that we do. Yes, they have some, but it's literally like we live in a nest. And I can crop rotate and it doesn't matter. This year I did share that I had gotten zucchini plant starts from the nursery and got them in the ground earlier. And then we had that wonky May weather with the rain and all of the wind that kept things cooler for a bit. And I think that's why that did so well, is because I had a jump start on the bugs. But this, and then I've got one zucchini plant over there that I'm hoping they haven't found yet, but I honestly do not have high hopes for that plant at all. And, you know, a lot of people are like anti-sprays, you know, anyway, but in the past, years ago, I have used things like, not in this garden space, it's when we had these other raised beds that ended up rotting. Anyway, I have used 7 and sprays and all the tricks, and y'all, I'm here to tell you, these are like warrior bugs around here. None of it worked. Absolutely none of it. So even if you are somebody who doesn't mind using sprays, you're not going to convince me to use any of that because it doesn't work for us here. Last year, the vine borer got my butternut squash, but it was much later. Much later. They were growing from that side over. And so we still actually got a few. It was on into August before that happened. had shared this Kiss Me Over the Garden Gate plant with you before and talked to you about how I was catching the Japanese beetles. Y'all, they're relentless. It doesn't matter how much I come out here and get them off. Every morning, they are back and chowing down. It's like Chow Town here. Horrible, horrible, horrible. They do an incredible amount of damage when they decide that they like to eat something. And you see they're not bothering the loofahs at all. Another pest I often have is the cucumber beetles. Thankfully, they haven't quite set in yet. Just starting to really get cucumbers. And I'm really excited about that. Definitely helps ease the pain of losing my butternut squash. Oh man. These cucumbers are definitely, the plants are thick. I probably could have thinned them more. However, they have really gotten like, they had some baby cucumbers on there, and I'm like, I don't want to prune that off and lose that. So I didn't thin them as much as I had intended to. And then it rained again, and now I feel like it's just crazy. These are just beautiful. I'm also planning to start a second wave of cucumbers over here in the other raised bed. I should have already done that. I need to go get the seeds and get them in the ground so that they'll be coming up. So as these finish out, those will be coming in. At least that's the plan. Here's Spunky running up behind me. Hi, Spunk. So I don't have a basket. I just use my shirt. And these are lovely. They're very, very nice cucumbers. So an unexpected pest encounter yesterday was seed ticks. I was excited yesterday evening to be out in the garden, checking on the status of things, and the kids ran over and were looking at the raspberries, and they were like, "Ooh, there's raspberries. Mama, come get some." So I go over to join them, and this is an assumption. I'm gonna have to test my theory out. But I think that's where the seed ticks were. So when I walked away, or was beginning to walk away, I noticed the kids were saying something about them, and I looked down and there's like this massive spot on my leg. So it's not like they crawled up, from my feet and up. It was like I brushed something and ended up with them on me. So I'm probably going to test later to see if that's where they were, and then we're going to have to go with trying to get rid of those. I do not like ticks. Not even a little bit. I've been watching these peas, and as you can see, they're coming on along, and I'm very excited for that. But another pest we're having to deal with is the deer. They're coming in at night and eating. Believe they've been in the tomatoes too. I've been told countless times, why don't you put a fence around your garden? Da da da. Well,
it doesn't work. That's the simple answer. Like, fencing is not going to keep a deer out. I have watched them get into Fort Knox. Like, it's not going to work. So I'm not going to spend money that we don't have on a fence that is not going to solve my problem. So in the past, I have sprayed a homemade rotten egg solution. That works until it rains. And we've been having like pop-up showers really often, and as soon as it rains, it's over. Like, they'll come in that night and feast away. We've lost a lot of green beans in the past to the deer, so I just don't really have an answer for a solution for the deer. I really don't. Not a like 100% tried and true thing. People will say you can put down the Irish Spring soap. Like, everything that we've tried, it's not, it doesn't work. The garden pest struggles vary from year to year, but they never keep me from coming back and trying again. And I hope that you can find encouragement through that and can keep on pushing through yours. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can catch the next one.